So it looks like we are live. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind for Friday, the 25th of February. John Lavenia here with you. Good times, busy morning so far, and hopefully you're also enjoying your day, whatever time zone you're in. I actually had a live broadcast this morning on Instagram with someone who I've known for a bit, celebrity, singer. Many of you. Well, I don't know. I'll let you figure it out. Jump on Instagram. You'll see who I went live, did a live video with today. But so my day started earlier than usual. And then I wound up going to the gym, which is a good thing to do. I've missed the gym for the last couple of days. And so it was good to be back. It was also a bit of inertia that I had to overcome to get there. And while I was there, I was like, you know what? Why don't we kill two birds with one stone? Since I'm exercising the body, let me exercise the mind as well. And I wound up putting on, instead of just listening to extreme metal, which is what I often do, I put on an audiobook and I started listening to some philosophy. And I was like, man, life is good. Life is good. Now I say this on a fun Friday. By the way, we're open for any jokes. John, do you have a joke, or Missy, or?
Sure, I got one.
Oh, come on. Yeah, give me a joke.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. So a guy and his dog walk into a bar to watch the Giants play the Jets.
Uh-huh.
And so they're sitting at the bar, and the dog's up on the bar stool next to him. And the game starts, and right away the Giants march down the field and score. And the guy's like, yeah. And so the bartender says to the guy, he goes, so you're a Giants fan? And the guy goes, yeah, I am, but my dog's a Jets fan. And bartender kind of smirks and goes, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And so the Jets get the ball. They march down the field, and they get stalled at the 25-yard line, and they kick a full field goal. And the dog goes crazy. He just starts barking away and jumping up on the bar and stuff like that. And the bartender looks at him and goes, oh, I guess he kind of is a Jets fan. And so Giants get the ball again, march down the field. Jets get the ball, come back, score a touchdown. Dog goes ballistic, running around the bar 3 or 4 times, comes back, and the bartender goes, that's amazing. What does he do if the Jets win? Guy goes, I don't know. I've only had the dog 5 years.
That's great. Good joke. Good joke. Hey, what do you think, Missy? You're up there in the New York metro area, right? Giants or Jets, Missy? Which one?
I only do the 69 Jets with Joe Namath.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, I remember being in when I lived in New Jersey, when I was in a band, we had a few Jets fans, and they would say something like "squish the fish." Apparently, there's a rivalry between the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. Squish the fish. I don't know. And then other people like the Giants and all this. Personally, I never been to a live football game, like ever. It's kind of weird, isn't it, John? That's kind of weird. I've been to baseball games, seen the Diamondbacks and Yankees, Mets, Phillies. All right. So good stuff. Good stuff. Where was I going with that, though? I'll tell you where we're going with that. It has nothing to do with the Jets or Giants, but it does have to do with you guys remember we read Atomic Habits by yeah, right. So Atomic Habits, he talked about habit stacking. And this is something where, and keep in mind, when he says atomic, I think of like atomic bombs and like really powerful stuff. Although what he's really talking about is getting down to the atomic level. Like, here's what the habits are made of. And so one of the concepts he gives was habit stacking. So when I do this habitually, I shall now also do this. So let me stack onto this habit, which I've established to whatever degree, this other one. So here I was in the gym, and it's like, all right, I gotta overcome this inertia. I got some great excuses. Who doesn't? James Clear. That's right. Thank you, Lindsay. He's the author. So I got some great excuses for why I haven't been in the gym in the last couple of days. They're really. Do you guys want to hear them? They're good. No. Okay. So I showed up.
Sure, go ahead. We might need them later for ourselves.
So I showed up and did my work, right? Did what I told myself to do. I followed my own command, right? That's called discipline. And I thought I'd give myself another command. I was like, you know what? I've got a busy morning here. Why don't I go ahead and load my guns? All right, mentally, with good information, right? So while I'm here, and it wasn't like a new book or a new lecture that I'd never heard before. I heard it again and again and again. But let's listen to it again, right? And because I need reminders. And so here I was doing objective work, right? Actually, it was legs, so there was none of this today. But so leg day is my favorite. Not really, but that's my affirmation anyway. And so I was doing legs, and I was listening to a lecture, and I got some reminders. Man, I was like, yeah. And one of the reminders I got, which is something that I'm going to lean on a bit throughout the rest of the day, is that there is no point in well, the words that the speaker was using was treatment. There was no point in treating for a healing, the right and ideal mate or partner, a job, money, right? There's no point in treating for that, because when we are saying, oh, I please treat, I need help, I need to lay hands on me or something, what we're admitting is that we don't have it. What we're saying is I lack. And so I was thinking of that today as it relates to everything that we're doing here, each of us individually, which is a variety of things, right? I mean, we're not all, we don't work all in the same office cubicle or something. We've all got different, projects and things that we work on. We got people right now that may be watching on YouTube. You've got a whole different approach, different methods. Okay. But whatever you're doing, hopefully you're doing it as a person who's coming from a position of gratitude, knowingness, havingness, right? Not lack and limitation. Because even something as subtle as seeking like a healing or something is what? An admission that you're not healed. Now, this was a a rather spiritual and religious kind of a lecture that I was listening to. So so getting down to not just atomic, but I guess the spiritual realities of what this guy was talking about is that there's nothing to heal. Like, you're already whole. In fact, a couple of us have had this conversation before. By the way, the lecturer was Minister Tom Johnson, the late Tom Johnson, and he was out in California, First Church of Religious Science out there, and he was giving a lecture in Morristown, New Jersey. Anyway, I got the recording of this, and it was pretty great. But his premise, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds with where the philosophy comes from, but based on the writings of Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind kind of stuff. But his premise was that you're already whole. That God has never been aware of your problem, because all it knows is itself, completeness, wholeness right now. So just considering that you could, that doesn't mean like this is some new age stuff and like your problems don't exist, or that your body isn't breakable, or no. Okay, we objectively, we deal with what is. That's how we get results in life. We work with what is, not with what should be, or like, magical crystals or something. But just with that acknowledgement that there's a bigger scene, that there's a bigger game afoot. There's stuff that you can't see with limited, human sensories, and all this, that there's a bigger thing going on here. For me, gives me, it's edifying, it's uplifting, it's empowering, right? To think that in my limited view, that's the totality of truth or reality or whatever. No. Hold on a second, man. Hold on. Because if that was the case, I would have to have all the answers. That's a scary thought. And have any of you thought that? Where here you are confronting work or the problems of life and whatever, and like you've got to have all the answers now. Well, good luck. And we can get frantic with this stuff. And I have been. I'm saying that from experience, right? I'm not just making this up. I've been frantic at times with it, right? Not knowing all the possible solutions or which would be the right solution to this particular challenge in life or business or relationships or fitness or whatever it happens to be. My good friend Giovanna's here with us. Hey, Giovanna. She, she had a health issue, right? this body thing, right? Which we're all doing the body thing. I get it, right? Which is a very, temporal and fragile thing. And so she needed repairs, right? But there were certain tribulations that had to be navigated to get to, the fruit, the end result. But back to the point of, while at the same time solving very real problems and not being in denial about it, or neglecting, or being, immune, pretending you're immune to stuff. Okay. But while dealing objectively with problems and challenges in life, can we not also maintain the mindset that there's a bigger game? I think it's one of the most relieving ideas that I've had, when I remembered to have that idea, right? What did Goethe say? All intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All we got to do is think them again, right? So when I think them again, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's already, we're good. There's a bigger game afoot. I don't have to have all the answers. All the answers are already there. And you know what? As long as with intention and with, some gratitude, some knowingness, some certainty, I keep moving in the direction, one little step in front of the other, if that's what's necessary. I keep moving in that direction. Well, then more is revealed. And we've seen this throughout our lives. We all have. We've seen this in terms of business, right? Where you've made advancements and you've created benefits and momentum, right? Which you didn't have at the outset. Of course you didn't, right? You were stopped. Well, now you're not stopped. Well, that's friggin' awesome. Okay. We've also seen it in, well, I mean, if you just look at an example just from the physical world, right? Here's a mountain and you're climbing the mountain. Anybody here? I've climbed mountains. It's pretty cool. And not necessarily scaling rocks. Like I'm not like, rock climber per se, but there's trails that go up and around in the switchbacks, and eventually you get to the summit, and it's a lot of work, but great exercise too, not to mention nature and all this. But when you're at the trailhead down at the bottom of the mountain, right? You can't even see the summit. So let's say the summit's going to be, a couple thousand, 3,000 feet higher than the trailhead, right? So you're somewhere on that gradient, but you can't see the summit. Now, if you stepped way back, you drove 10 miles away, you look, there's the mountain, there's the top, right? That's where I'm going. So now you could see it from a distance. But when you're in it, when you're on the trail, all you can see is wherever up to the next bend, where there's the big rock or the cactus or whatever it is. And then when you get around that bend, now more is revealed. This is so simple. And yet a lot of times the idea that I need to know everything that's going to happen between the trailhead and the summit, which is, I mean, that's pretty outrageous to think I would have to know all that, but that's where I've been many times in my life. It's like, what's the entire plan? I had a conversation just recently with a good friend who's known me for 20 something years. We've made a lot of money together. We've lost money together. We've been through it all. Okay. And I was showing him some of the business stuff that we're doing. And he had all these questions about little minutia stuff, which I perhaps take for granted. I don't have a whole lot of attention on it. These things are already working, and so I don't have to like rework them or analyze them to death. But this person didn't know, and they have the tendency to want to dissect every little bit, very analytical. I appreciate that. What I'm talking about, though, is balancing that tendency to be analytical to whatever degree you are with a bit of faith and even flippancy. You see what I'm talking about? Already being whole, already being complete, that there's nothing to heal. I'm also talking about observing the bigger picture that look, things work out, don't they? I mean, everyone here, you're here. I mean, that's evidence right there. I was saying to my wife just the other day, Shannon, you know what? Things work out for us always. She's like, yeah, they do. They do. Here we are. You know what kind of hell we've been through? And here we are. It reminds me of was it the second or third Matrix movie where Morpheus is standing on the rock talking to the people of the Zion and the machines are coming. Yes, the rumors are true. They want to kill us all. But you know what? I do not fear the machines. You know why? Not because of, this or that, but because we're still here. They've been trying to kill us for like 300 years, man. We're still here. Whatever, bring it, right? And if you can confront life with that sort of bring it attitude, right? And give yourself your own Morpheus speech, it's like, you know what? You're a survivor. You're like, holy crap, powerful. Like, wow, you're still here. You won. Well, continue winning then. So you see, we just took the attention from lack, limitation, needing a healing or a treatment or something, to let's observe and be grateful for all that we have accomplished and all that we're able to accomplish. Because after all, it's the same Lindsay and Catherine and John and Missy and Giovanna that showed up over there. They're showing up here, right? When Edward and Mandy and everybody else, you guys show up in whatever is next for you in life, well, you've already got certainty about who's showing up. Now, hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully you can bet on you. I mean, that would be interesting. If you are you a bad investment? And if so, let's work that out. Okay. But hopefully you could acknowledge, hey, I'm a good investment. I bet on me. Who's showing up to do this job? Someone all full of, uncertainty and worries and anxiety and all this, which I've been there. I got it. Okay. But if that's who's showing up to do this job, well, I don't know. Maybe that's not a good investment. Oh, but the survivor, the person who kicks ass in life, the person who obviously by evidence of you being here, you've gotten through stuff. Well, freaking done. Apparently you're more powerful than you may have suspected. Well, great. Let's go ahead and invest in that person then. So you see, that's the thing that I have to remember, and that we could all choose to remember, I think, more often, is how powerful we actually are, how causative we actually are. People read books on effectiveness, which is very nice and entertaining, okay? But what's the opposite of effect? Cause. Who? Me. And if we just get that, I'm still working on it, right? Give me time. It's only been a few decades, but if we just get that all the things that we seem to be affected by, there's a bigger game here. And you're not the effect, you're cause, right? Oh, if I could just remember that. Wow. Now I look at problems more objectively. Now it's not like, oh, I'm so affected by it. I'm so, I'm the victim or something. No. And now I can be bigger than the game, the ostensible game. I can remember I'm not that. I am that, right? The big that. And now I can observe. And yes, I'm still in the game as John with the body and mind and all this. I'm still in the game, but I'm also the observer of the game, which has a bit of what? A bit of detachment. And this is something that I've leaned on so much with Lindsay. You've heard me talk about this 10 billion friggin' times, right? So non-attachment, right? We got people who are new in business here, right? And so you're going to what? Hopefully you're going to do some marketing, do some promotion, impinge on the attention of some people out there in the public and cause them to put their attention on what you've got, right? Because you've got a good offer. Okay, great. But while that's your intention to do that, if you're doing it with attachment, like, oh, I need the sale. I'm like so friggin' desperate over here. Oh man, that's what's being communicated. The emotional state, the physiology, is what's being communicated. Attachment, neediness, right? Well, look, if you've already got the goods, then why are you so damn desperate? Stop being so desperate, right? It's because you forgot the bigger scene. The bigger scene is you've already got benefits. You've already got so much to offer, which is why you're doing the marketing in the first place, right? Not to try and get, but to give, to serve. So the same speaker who I was listening to today talked about an event that happened with him when he was walking down the street in his local area. And there was an animal that had been perhaps hit by a car or something, who knows. He wasn't sure what kind of animal it was, but he was thinking, oh, that animal might need help, right? So he was doing his morning walk, and he walked on just to see if it could help himself, and if it was still there when he came back, or if it was gone, then fine, okay. But he wound up coming back to that same spot, and he saw some guy picking up with a shovel, picking up the animal and throwing it into the street. So he ran up to it and picked up the animal. It was a wild animal, and held it in like a blanket or whatever, and got it to a vet, and called the vet and said, "Hey, I'm bringing this wild animal in. It may have been hit, or I don't know, but I'm bringing it in." So they brought it in, and they discovered it was a possum, and that its back was broken, and that they couldn't like fix the back, and even if they could, it would need care for a long time. And anyway, the best thing to do would be to put it down. And so he held it as they put the needle in, and told the possum, "I love you. I love you. Everything's going to be okay." And he felt a sense of peace with that. And now every day when he would walk past that spot, he would say, "I love you, Posse." Call it Posse. "I love you, Posse." Right? So he was relating that story because in that event, which he didn't plan, okay, this is just, he was walking down the street doing his morning jog or whatever. But in that event, was he looking to get? Was that, "Oh, I need to get from this possum. I need recompense. I need money." No. It was just to give instinctively, an act of giving. And he got so much more. He got connectedness with, and I don't know, he can explain it for himself, but you get the point. He wasn't trying to get anything. And yet the rewards, while it may not be, well, he also got his exercise in, right? But he also got to have an experience in life. I mean, there's pay for living, right? I mean, you get to have the experience. So he got to have that, and then relate it to others. And in this case, simply an example, a demonstration of what it's like when in the moment, you just want to give. You get so much back, but you don't have to sit there and account for the minutia and get the spreadsheets out. Like, oh man, thank goodness we don't have to do that. Don't show me a spreadsheet, right? So, but the universe has a perfect accounting system. So what can you do when you confront life today, when you go out there into the world, okay, virtually or physically or whatever? What can you do to give without expecting anything in return? Just with that intention and no attachment to the outcomes. It's very freeing. When I'm lacking gratitude, I deserve to remember, John, go give something. Go serve someone. Don't be sitting there thinking about what you lack. Go, you know what, guys, there's people in the world with real problems. I'll take mine. Thank you. Who else has some thoughts on this? I've been talking for 23 minutes already. Whatever this topic is. Hi, Missy.
Hi, that was beautiful. That was
Right.
really one of your best ones ever. And now I'm going to think about that possum for a long time. It's not them animals, but I was a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, you just referenced the story of Christ with the 10 lepers. And you said Christ disagreed that there was leprosy, and that the 10 men were all, I got bloods all over me. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, go show yourselves to the priests. And they still had it on them. And on the way there, it went away. When one of the 10 saw it was gone, he reversed himself, because they had to, by law, show the priests that they could go out into society again. And when he came back to Christ, he said, where are the 9? So they didn't have the gratitude. He did for them what you are trying to help us to do. They became the cause by you having the faith.
Mm-hmm.
They caused the leprosy to leave. They believed him, and that was enough for them. And you can't have one without the other. Who knows what happened to those 9 after Christ was gone from the planet? Did they maintain themselves? Did they get sick again? It's an interesting idea. But yeah, and what you just said, if you're not feeling the gratitude, go give something. It's so simple, but it's so profound.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bad evening yesterday, and I was feeling sorry for myself, and I didn't give something. So, and then I kept in that mood till there. So I've got to, I forgot to be cautious. I just let myself be affected, and I'm ashamed, but this work gets worse when I get tighter and tighter. But thank you again for the reminder. It's so important to come here every day, even though I already know it. Thank you again.
Thank you, Missy. Yeah. Well, I supposedly I know it too, but I'm always interested to hear what's going to come out of my mouth. So much for what I think I know. All right. We got some of my favorite people on the planet here right now. We got Mandy and Lindsay and John. Giovanna's here, Edward, Catherine. Any other thoughts on this? Is there something you could give? Is there some way to enhance your gratitude today by enhancing someone else's life? Because it always comes back, right? Always comes back. All right. No other thoughts on this? Okay. Well, Lindsay, yes, please.
When you always say you get caught in the thick of thin things. I kept thinking of that. You can't see it all. So you just have to lose unattachment. And I love the giving brings you back to a place that makes a lot of sense. So
thank you. Well, you're a survivor, Lindsay, and you're freaking awesome. So just in case nobody's told you that today, let me be the first. Good times. Let's hear from John Apogee and then Mandy. Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Kind of back to where you were earlier. I was making my notes, and I really liked your mountain climbing analogy, and I was relating to it. And I was thinking about one of the things that I always observed when I was doing that, as you're going up the switchbacks and getting up there, there's these false summits where you're like looking and you don't see anything else behind it. So you go like, oh, I must be there. And you get up there and you go, oh, there's 2 more to go,
Yeah.
And so I think if you incorporate that into that analogy, it is even more impactful, but I really related to it. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, John. I know we've talked about that before as well. I took my daughter on a hike. It was up Wasson Peak, Tucson, the Western Tucson range. And there's 3 false summits there. So if anybody doesn't know what John was just talking about, it's where you think that's the summit and you finally get to it. And then you see, oh, there's more mountain, right? So my daughter was like, oh, are we going to be at the top? I said, when you look up and you don't see any more rocks, that's when we're at the top. All right, Mandy, what's going on, my British friend?
Hi, John.
Hey.
Hello. Thoughts going all over the place here, but when you started, you were talking about believing that the universe, or whoever you want to call it, is there. And I think I can really relate to that. I think knowing that there's a bigger picture there, that just take a step at a time and just somebody's got my back or something's got my back. It's I used to worry about everything in the future, and then it just sends you mad. And I think it was Susan Jeffers again that said you just have to do whatever you can to reach your goal, but then let go of the outcome. Don't worry about it. Don't fret over it. Just do it. Because as long as you've done everything you can, then you can't do anything else. You've just got to let it go and then work through it, which is what I do more and more. So I'm taking small steps, but it's what I do more and more now. And then what can you do to give to somebody? There's lots of things you can give to somebody, even if it's just a smile, because you don't know how that person is that day. And if somebody, just smile at them. And I mean, it's been difficult wearing masks and everything, but now we're out of that at the moment here, then you can smile. I try and always talk to the cashiers if I go shopping, just the ones behind the checkout, if they want to talk back. And people, if they're in a wheelchair, I try to talk to them, not the person pushing it, if they're near me. So it's just understanding, I suppose, that other people might be lonely, or they might just want someone to talk to. You can do lots, can't you, without necessarily having to spend money. And right. I'm afraid that I had to go off the screen, because when you talked about the possum, it brought a tear to my eye, because I am so thingy about animals and nature. And there's been lots of times where the cats have brought in mice, birds, squirrels, everything. But they brought a pigeon in once. A lot of the mice die, but there was a mice, and I just say to it, it's okay. And then it'll probably die by the next day or die in my hand, which I get really upset about. It's a mouse, but
Right.
it's a living creature to me.
Sure.
But it was nothing better than when they brought a pigeon in, and I kept the pigeon for a while because I thought it had hurt its wing. And then I took it out. It was only about a couple of days. And I took it out to the field at the back and I opened the box and I lifted it up and it flew away. And they are so powerful. And there was nothing, it was just absolutely brilliant to watch this bird fly away if you can save it. And it was just such an amazing feeling.
Right.
Of getting that back to life. So that's
Wow.
what I do. Anything I can save, I save.
Thank you, Mandy. Well, you're a kind-hearted person, and I mean, what kind-hearted person would want to see the suffering of another creature? Right? That doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm sensitive to that as well. We were coming home from wherever we were, and we let the dogs out, and you guys have met little Butch, a little three-legged Chihuahua, and Jag, which we've had Jag for a year now, but he's not macho. And he's a mama's boy, like totally. He's like Velcro on Shannon all the time. But anyway, he's very excited because we're home and Shannon's home. He can give a damn about me, but Shannon is home. So he's jumping up and down and he's running around on the lawn. And I don't know what he stepped on, or maybe, ran into the block wall or something, but he started screaming in pain. And I was like, and my heart was like, oh crap. And so Shannon picked him up, brought him in. He limped a little bit and then licked his paw and he was fine. All good. Right. But that helplessness, I was like, first of all, why, right? I want to know why, what caused it? How do we prevent it? I never want to hear that scream again. Right. And I don't know why. It's a mystery. So that sucks. But then like, how do you, what do you do? I mean, the dog can't communicate. In other words, screaming, and that's pretty much it. But like a baby, that's rough. Right. You got an infant. They can't talk. What's wrong with you? Right. And so you could bring him to the doctor or whatever. Anyway, we didn't have to go to the vet. That would have sucked too, but everything was okay. But just in the moment of it, that went right through me, hearing this animal, obviously in pain, and I can't even help it. So not completely off topic, but anyway, let's all have cheerful thoughts now, everyone. Cheerful thoughts. All right. Because I don't want to like cry over possums and stuff too. By the way, your makeup survived just fine, Mandy. You look awesome as you always do.
And you can save it. When you save it, that's a good thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good times. Hey, you know what we've got, and I'm still acclimating to my new environs here, but we've got this stork that is hanging out on our street like all the time. There's a bunch of them, okay, and seagulls and pelicans and everything else. But we got this one stork. He's like the town bum. Like I drive down the street, this stork is like he's always looking for something. I'll have to take a picture of him sometime. Yeah, and he'll walk right up to your car. Yeah, you got any fish for me? Right? He's like the town bum. So they're tall too. They're probably like up to my shoulder. They're huge. Anyway, love you guys. Jean Apogee, any other thoughts?
Yeah, maybe he's not the town bum. Maybe he's the town greeter.
Yeah, he's the welcome committee. I'll tell you what, though, guys, because it's Fun Friday. Shannon and I were in this store, Home Goods or one of those. I don't know, like furniture and a collection of eclectic furnishings and stuff. Anyway, they had this rug, this area rug that we liked, and so we decided to buy the rug, and we were checking out. And like Mandy, I'm attempting to be social here. I'm like, hey, we're new to Florida. How are you? You having a good day, right? So this is all a novelty to me. And you're new to Florida, the cashier says. Yeah. Where you from? Phoenix? Why you come to Florida? All this is old people waiting to die. The cashier actually said that. I said, well, thank you for the welcome. Finally, Shannon, we got the welcome committee here. And then, I mean, this is a paid employee in a store selling non-essentials to Floridians. So anyway, there you go. Hopefully that brightens your day. All right. Hopefully you've got better customer service instincts than that. Love you guys. I'll be back here at 6 p.m.